Okay. Oh, hello, everyone. The August 13th Westfield Washington Schools Board of Trustee meeting is now in session. Thank you for joining us. Since we have a quorum, please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This evening we have no comment cards, so we will move to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items include board minutes, accounts payable vouchers, payroll vouchers, and personnel report. All items in the consent agenda have been reviewed by the board in advance of the meeting and are approved in a single motion. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Jimmy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Bill. It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. Every month, we look forward to hearing updates from our construction partners on projects taking place throughout the district. Tonight, we are pleased to welcome Chris Detmar from Core Construction to provide an update on the new tennis complex and early learning center expansion.
Good
Hello.
evening, board. Nice to see you all again. Really excited to give this update, actually. We've had a good few weeks, especially out at the tennis complex. So just to run through a quick schedule here, we are substantially complete out there. They are using the facility. I just drove past this evening and there's a bunch of kids out there playing, so it's really cool to see. Some minor punch items to take care of that we're taking care of throughout the earlier half of the day. Throughout the next probably week or two, we'll be just touching things up. The architect has walked through, gave us a punch list. The landscapers gave us a punch list. So we'll be working through that over the next couple weeks to wrap that up. But every day we're out of there and out of the way so practice can start and ready for matches to start. And it's just really exciting. I'm proud of that team for the hurdles that they've had to jump over to get that thing done. We had a lot of challenges to get that thing done on time, and we did it. So I'm super proud of that team. Ribbon cutting ceremony is next Tuesday, a week from today at 5 p.m. We plan on having some refreshments and some gifts for you all, and for the public that show up. It'll be really cool. We do have a tent coming to put up as well, just try to stay out of the sun if we can, and we'll kind of have it set up similar to our groundbreaking that we did out there a few months back. As far as the building goes, the footings and foundations are in the process of going in. They're pouring concrete today. We've been meeting with all our trade partners, with the plumbers and the masons, to really get them on schedule to get going. So it's good to start seeing that thing come out of the ground and be able to start seeing it take shape. Here's just a few photos of the tennis complex. We have the logos that are installed. There was some back and forth going on over the past couple days of the quality of those logos and what they looked like, but we've wrapped our head around that and addressed that situation. And the installer that's doing that has assured us and came out this morning and really cleaned them up and made them look how they need to look 100%. So they really do look nice. There's just the guardrails installed on the east side of the property. You can see some final photos here of what the courts do look like. And then I do have a photo there of, you can see the footings going in for the building. At the Early Learning Center, you can see here that footings and foundations are in progress. Structural steel has started. They've done a great job. I'm not sure if you guys have driven past at all, but the structure's starting to go up. The steel's getting put up. Cranes swinging it every day, so it's good to see that. Underground utilities are in progress, putting storm structures in kind of in the back half of the property. With the softball fields are all to grade. They're doing some drainage around the perimeter of it, and the baseball and rugby fields are coming to grade as well. We're pushing to try to get some turf rolling here by the end of the month on the softball fields. Really trying to get those turned over as quick as we can so you all can start using them again. So that's really our push right now, is to try to get those softball fields turned over. You can see here just some storm utilities going in. The new baseball field is cut into grade there. We've had proof rolls and making sure that that subgrade is looking good for when we do need to put the final turf on. Here you can see the crane in the air, swinging steel and roof trusses on site. Those were starting to go up this morning as I was on site. Miscellaneous steel on site there, and the foundation work finishing up. Really, from a foundation standpoint, they're 90% done. They just got to do this last little bit tying into the south side of the building here. So it's good to see that, and then they'll be jumping over into the C wing, which is over kind of by the admin area on the north side of the building. They'll start demoing that wall and getting some footings and foundations going on in there. That's all I got. Is there any questions on anything?
Oh, that looks lovely. Yeah, I don't have any questions. And way to make the date.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, I know, we were kind of at a little bit of internal turmoil because we kept saying the first, right? We're gonna be done on the first, we're gonna be done on the first. And as things started to develop and weather came in and it just kind of delayed, the last portion of that project is all the coating and really what makes it look pretty, right? And if it rains, they're not working. There's no chance for them to work. So we just kind of got delayed about a week and a half with weather at the end here, but I'm glad we were able to make it happen before the first match, and looking forward to seeing it. So I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. The business and operation portion of the meeting, we will turn to Brian Tomamichael for the next agenda item, fire truck donation. Brian?
Thank you. So over the last several months, we've been working with the Westfield Fire Department and Westfield High School to work on the donation of two 2004 American LaFrance pumper fire engines to our Westfield High School fire program. If you remember, about a year ago or a year and a half ago now, the Carmel Fire Department donated a bunch of jackets, and we made a big deal out of that, and I think that caught some attention. So with that, Westfield Fire Department has been actively getting involved in our program and also looking to make a donation. So the plan with these two trucks is one will remain fully functional as an engine. Kids will use it. The other one will be more of a prop as we look to kind of possibly add a smoke training facility to the campus down the road, and then also be kind of a parts truck for us as we look to maintain the one fully functional. This is a resolution of 2024-27 to accept this donation. Resolution is a little unique for us on donations, and really it comes from the city and their approval of the donation to the school district, had the forms filled out for us to meet some of their guidelines. So that is why it is a resolution compared to just our normal acceptance. So with that, happy to answer any questions, but we would ask that the board approve resolution 2024-27.
Is it going to be in the homecoming parade?
So long-term plans is that we would get either a full wrap or a partial wrap, but it will look like it is a Westfield High School bus or fire truck, and it will be drivable, and could be in a parade. I will tell you, it will probably not be in this year's homecoming parade. We're working with the fire department we don't really have a great place to store it until we are done with our new transportation facility and have that change over our current one. So we are working with the fire department to actually keep storing it probably for the next 6 to 12 months for us. But I would say by next year's homecoming parade of 2025, I would expect to see it in the parade.
Brian, where would this be stored?
So long-term plans is once the new transportation facility is complete, the current transportation facility is going to become the new operations hub for the district. Operations currently runs out of what is the original Tractor Supply building in Westfield, and our lease on that building is up February 2026. Once that transition happens, we have what is currently one of the bus wash bays that's going to be stripped down and will become the new parking bay for the functional fire truck.
All right. I think it's very exciting. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2024-27 as presented.
So moved.
Thanks, Rebecca. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2024-27. Is there any discussion or any questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you, Brian. All right, the last item for business and operations is the approval of Westfield High School boys tennis team overnight trip, which Brian Tomamichael will also present.
Yep, so tonight we're asking permission for our boys tennis team to do an overnight trip for a couple matches. The first match takes place on Friday, September 6th at Bar Reeve. Then they will have 2 matches on Saturday, September 7th down in Evansville. The boys will leave around 1 p.m. on September 6th, go down to Bar Reeve, have their match, and then stay overnight for their matches the next day in Evansville. Costs of the trip are actually going to be covered through the tennis fundraiser account. So congratulations on the boys raising the money to support the trip. So we would ask the board to approve the overnight field trip.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the Westfield High School boys tennis team overnight field trip as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All right, Bill, thank you. It has been moved and seconded to approve the Westfield High School boys tennis overnight field trip. Is there any discussion or any questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. All right. Thank you, Brian. The next item on the agenda is the second reading of the 7th batch of policies, which Dr. Atha will present.
President Wells, members of the board, and the community, we are undergoing a review and update of school board policy. We've been doing that for the majority of this year, or since January. So batch 7 was introduced for a first read at our July board meeting. Those policies are D100, district organization, D125, evaluation of the superintendent, D150, board superintendent relationship, D175, board staff communications, D200, standard of care and supervision of students, D275, drug-free workplace, D525, no distracted driving, G125, criminal organizational or organization activity, G150, registered sex or violent offenders, and G275, animals on school property. Most of these policies have a Indiana code connected with them, and so our attorney or our counsel, Church Hill and Antrim, they have been leading us in this policy update. So at this time, since this is a second read and these policies have been posted on our website since July 16th, we would recommend that the board adopt these policies this evening.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the adoption of batch 7 policies as presented.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Jimmy. It has been moved and seconded to approve the adoption of batch 7 policies. Is there any discussion or any questions at this time? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes.
We'll jump right into batch 8, which we will be introducing this evening for a first read. And those policies are D250, Teacher Appreciation Grant, D300, Alcohol and Controlled Substance Policy for CDL in safety-sensitive positions, D350, Fitness for Duty, Leaves and Examinations, D450, Registration, D475, Justifiable Decrease in Teaching Positions, G300, Latchkey Programs, G325, Free and Reduced Price Meals, G425, Pledge of Allegiance and Moments of Silence, and H100, School Visitor and Parent-Family Engagement. These policies were posted today, August 13th, on our websites and the board docs link. And we introduced them to the Board of Trustees this evening for a first read. There is no action required. However, over the course of the next month, if there's feedback or questions, we would be happy to answer those or pass it on again to our council for update. And then we would bring these policies back to the board in September for a second read.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Atha. If the board has any questions related to the batch of policies, we will reach out to you before the next board meeting. Next, we will move to the curriculum portion of the agenda and Special Education Residential Placement Resolution 2024-28. Dr. Ika.
Yes, so we have a resolution for the board, and basically, this empowers Dr. Tomamichael, Lindsay Tomamichael, to sign contracts regarding alternative and private residential school placements, especially during case conferences, because many times we're working with parents and trying to meet the needs of students. And so we will always make sure, and in these cases, that our counsel, our attorneys, review these contracts before signature, and then, as always, we will file for reimbursement under the Special Education Excessive Cost Funds. And so this is something where when this comes up, a lot of times we need to act quickly. Dr. Tomamichael always has a conversation with us, and usually with Brian, because of the financial impact and what we need to do. But then it just empowers her to make that move on behalf of the district and then to meet the needs of students. And so it's just a quick resolution, and we would recommend that the board adopt that this evening.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve Special Education Residential Placement Resolution 2024-28 as presented.
So moved.
All right, Bill, thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Rebecca. It has been moved and seconded to approve the Special Education Residential Placement Resolution 2024-28. Is there any discussion or any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. And the final item on the curriculum agenda is a curriculum update.
So just two things. We will have our first curriculum committee meeting with Mr. Cox and Mrs. Willis next Friday, or Friday the 23rd, so a week from this Friday. So we have monthly meetings with 2 board members that are on that committee. So we'll go over some of the things we're focused on and then share in the September meeting. I don't know, I have Dr. Hoover here who has put some things in place for the start of the school year just quickly around our reading adoption and our parent committee that we're working on. We shared some information with the board, but I don't know if he has anything he wants to share about that, or if you have any questions about the timeline or anything that you need from him at this time. All right, everybody's looking. What I do want to say is a huge thank you to our principals, our operations team. Last week with our 3 days preparing for students with our all the PD and training we needed to do to get our teachers up to speed on our resources, but not only that, but just all the things that go in place. And the 3 days, our teachers and staff were amazing, and I thought Thursday and Friday we hit the ground running, and it was a great start to school. The feedback we continue to hear is that we're off to a great start. So again, from the curriculum side, we had a lot of work going on. We did our retreat, our leadership summit, and then also had some PD happening for the CKLA adoption. Almost 80% of our elementary teachers went through some sort of training this summer, up to 6 hours. So we'll report more out on how that's going in September.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Next, we'll hear from Josh Andrews for a communication update.
Thank you. So, as you may have seen already, Sean and Bailey has started the year with another great back-to-school video. In addition to that, they just this past weekend did the Fall Media Day. And if you see on the social media, there was a great response from those. They even changed up their flow a little bit, and they're getting better and better every year. And if you haven't seen it already, go ahead and check out the Media Day photos for all the fall sports. In addition, staying on Sean and Bailey, they have been their work has been noticed by the ISBA, and they asked them to come and shoot the photos at the conference, and also give their ISBA staff kind of a workshop on how to improve their photography skills with regards to conferences, because Sean and Bailey, they really bring out the life, and they make it seem like it's a lot better than just sitting and listening. And they've been getting noticed, and I just wanted to commend them for all the great work that they do, and they're being noticed by other entities as well. With the sunsetting of Parent University, I've been working very closely with Ashley on our Back to School webpage, and that was a big hit this year. And I just checked the stats, and in the 3 weeks that it's been out, we've gotten more than 20,000 hits to that page. So working closely to make sure that all the parents have the information that they need when it comes to back to school has been very productive, and there's been a great response to that. And staying on the webpage, we're working on a little bit of a facelift for our webpage. It'll be in about a month or so. It's going to be look just a little bit visually different. It'll be more appealing to the eye, and it'll be a little bit more of a display of who we are as a district, rather than just where to go for information. And that's been pretty driven by Dr. Kaiser. He's really he may not seem like very tech savvy, but he knows the importance of the website. And the last thing is that I just thought you'd be interested in knowing that I'm working with Riverview. They're doing an entire promo campaign with our construction teacher, Jason Hemmerling, and his health battle, and how Riverview was very instrumental in his journey. And then we're working to let Mr. A-Strike's students, his communications and video students, come be a part of and see what it's like to produce a professional commercial. So that's just something we're doing with Riverview, and Riverview is getting our students involved and being very community focused, and something I wanted to bring to your attention. Thank you.
Dr. Ath has already touched on the overall start to school, but a special shout out to our transportation department and operations for what they did to get school going. We had a technology glitch, not our fault, with our provider, and they were up night after night. They were even in majority on Sunday. We'll still adjust routes throughout this week. I know we had at least one overcrowded bus yesterday morning, and we're addressing that, but they spent hours and hours trying to get the routes. We had 96% of our kids on the bus that had signed up for the bus, on a bus, getting to and from school on the first day. Now, we have to monitor and adjust from there, but we'll take that percentage, considering 10,000 kids in the district. So very pleased with their efforts and time under Larry's leadership. So my hat's off to them.
I got to go with the tennis courts. We drove by there last night, and I knew the building was going to come along. I didn't realize they were going to pour footers today, but it's just an incredible amount of work that got done, and it's gorgeous, and I'm excited for next week.
I will reiterate tennis courts. Great job. And then apparently I'm going to be a spotter on Thursday for football for our awesome middle school announcer. Thank you. Yes, voice of the Shamrocks. Thank you.
Anything for you, Mike?
No, it's been very great, and everything else.
Yep.
Been a good start of the year.
Yep. Rock the Block was fantastic. I don't know if anyone else attended, but it was jam-packed and amazing that we were able to shift it from the fields to indoors because of the weather concerns. So that was awesome. And then last Saturday, it was pretty much just all Westfield football all day long, from flag football all the way down to the varsity playing in their green gold scrimmage, and it was just lovely. And we've sold 120 new Rocks blankets. And so there's a new design, so I know everyone has one, but now you need another one. And they're gonna sell out fast. So here's my plug for go support the foundation. And I just wanted to kind of recap, what was it, last month we had the meeting with all the staff, and it was just so lovely to hear all the conversation. It was really thoughtful, and I just really appreciated that, John.
Yeah, and so we'll share a little bit of feedback we got from the exit ticket, but a lot of positive vibes, and then leading into our new educator orientation, the feedback we're receiving is the clarity of direction and priorities, and the words from our principal and schools as our new teachers, consistent, and everybody proud to be a Shamrock. So we're off to a great start, and I think with our growth, we got all our teachers hired and in place, and we have some crowded spots, but nothing we can't handle. So kudos to those folks out on the front line.
Yes, thank you to all of them.
I also just want to mention Chris Shepard's visitation and funeral. Mama Kay, just a
Right now.
big piece of the Rocks family. And so prayers to her family, to Kurt, her husband, and her boys. And I know we're showering them with love, but just keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
For sure. Anyone else? No? All right, our next board meeting will be September 10th at 6:30 PM. So can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.